What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So very interesting week we could be having this week. The other setup that I shared for Nasdaq actually panned out quite nicely for that first leg of the head and shoulders. So what we were waiting for, as covered in the previous video, we waited for the break, a retest, and then we took the sell, right? So obviously I'm just showing longer term. So I took the sell from somewhere up here and I'm still in right now. Let me show you guys on a 4 hour. My entry was up here. Was this one over here? Yeah. And I'm in now. So looking at where we are right now, we are actually kind of in a very interesting area, man. Right? Reason I took that sell from that side was because we see the market break structure, right? We go higher high, lower high. That lower high was my indication that we could be falling again, right? Waited for like a clearer confirmation, bullish engulfing or a bearish engulfing, sorry, of the body on the right, on the left here. Also, you could use the 3 bulls in a row, but there's 4. I mean, doesn't really matter. We got bullish engulfing here to take out this here, take the sell from there, bang in. Hold the retest now because we've broken the support area over here, right? Hold the retest, keep falling, came into the second test area, failed here, right? So let's get into what we want to see or what could possibly happen on us. So we're going to do the sell side first. It kind of just makes sense. If you look at the daily, the body is actually inside of this area already, right? So for this, we will more than likely get a retest to the upside, probably there, maybe even a little less below, and then we'll sell again. When we sell, if we sell again, I target something here, right? So take note of my numbers. So 15,000. So let's say 15,200. That would kind of more or less be where I would look to go. Obviously, just above. In an ideal world, what you should do is you should actually try and get smaller entries, because you could actually also stop at 15,450. Pretty good as well. You wait for the retest. So I'll just show you guys what I would do here. 450, right? I'd go to the 4 hour chart, right? Now that we see the retest, there's the 450, right? You let the market, you let the candlestick pull up. There must be a pullback to fill the wick here, right? So wherever that is, the moment you get that confirmation candle here, you catch the sell downside, right? So what ideally it would look like, oops, wrong one. What ideally that it would look like is this, right? Once you get that confirmation that we're falling down, that's your first one, right? Pretty good entry on a 4 hour as well. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be targeting 15,210, right? Just, you know, like I always say in my video, like in my courses, I normally target round numbers, so 250, 200, like that. So I'm just going to go to 10 because 210 is a very interesting area should we come downward. Now, before we conclude that, hey, we're going to fall down, we should actually just have a look, say, at the weekly, right? As you can see, the weekly, actually, we came to test this higher. So we could even fill the wick and come to the 450 area and then continue our way all the way back up, right? Ideally, I'm just waiting to see what happens in this vicinity between this support area and this one over here to see what's going to happen here. So if we test this line and then shoot up or anything along those lines, right? So sell side, that's what it would look like. So let's say hypothetically NAS decides to pull back now, right? It won't break through this area, for example, you know, from the weekly area that I showed you guys here, where we didn't actually do what we were supposed to. Like a break here would have been perfect, you know, like even there. But because we didn't, I'm very wary about what's going to happen in the first leg of the week. So let's say we reject and that's a false breakout down below there, right? Just hypothetically speaking now, guys. What you would do is you'd wait for a break above this line, right? A break above, a retest, and then you buy. Now your first target would first obviously be this one. I'd be very cheeky. Sorry about that line. I'd be very cheeky and kind of go above that, My thinking behind that is kind of like, if you look at the weekly, if we're going to reverse, we're going to reverse, you know, like we're going to reverse upside, and we won't come touch that trend line over there. But if you actually just map this out a little bit, you can see things like there's a line here that can also be like thought of as, hey, there could be a little bit of support over there, so pulling like a GAN fan kind of move there. But anyway, beside the point. Let's say it rejects. We want to catch that line, right? So what that would look like, because of this trend line here, right? What that would look like is this, a retest, right? That would be a stop loss just below there, and that would be a take profit. So you can see it's kind of like, it's not necessarily something that I would take, to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't necessarily take this unless it's like it would take a lot for me to take this move, because what could happen is there could be a heavy pullback just to fill the wick above or below. I mean, look what happened before. So what you just need to take into account is that once we are here, if we break back above this line, so you focus on your daily, because we're going to enter on the 4 hour or 1 hour, however you guys trade. So I would wait for a break above, a retest, a confirmation, so a bullish candle, a strong confirmation candle of sorts, and then get in on the trade, even if it meant entering up a little bit later, right? In terms of NAS, like after this week's video would be the last of, like, you know, that weekly kind of thing up until the new year. However, what I am going to do is I'm going to be uploading a long-term NAS video, NAS, S&P 500, GBPJPY, USD, and map out the possibilities of swing trades that's going to guide us right through into the new year. Yeah, so for now, that would be the buy for NAS. And then, like I say below, if you're not in already, break here, you want to confirmation of the retest here. Let it wick, let the day candle go by, so let the Monday candle go by, unless it's quite aggressive, or unless 4 hours shows you a clear indication of coming down. So ideally what you want is something like a strong drop. So you want this entire piece here to be engulfed. The market must move past it, the candlestick body must close past it. Once that happens, bang, you sell it all the way down to the trend line. So totally up to you guys how you'd like to do it. Me personally, I think if the 4 hour candle can show me something nice, I'd probably take this one here. I'll probably take this one here and run it down to the bottom here. I know that if we can break that area, if we can break this area, the chance of touching that trend line is quite high. I'm just not going to go till there, because I'm actually waiting for this move to pan out so that I can catch a buy from the bottom. I'd rather prepare and put like a buy stop up once we get the breaking structure, a test of that trend line, and then to put like a buy stop just above, so within this vicinity. Then we're going to run it all the way up. But that I'll go into detail in the next video, because that's going to be the stuff that I'm going to be chasing for, like through the festive season, basically. Because I don't particularly trade normal like day trading during December coming into the beginning leg of January. Yeah. So guys, like with NAS, be careful. Watch for the divergences here. You'll notice that's why I'm kind of still bearish. You don't see the bullish divergences taking place here yet. I'd like the RSI to drop further down, like below here, or like, you know, just to show me some bullish divergence. What could happen is it could come all the way down to show you bullish divergence and not even reach this low here. Yeah, so that's why I say the trend line should be the perfect place to target and then go, but I'm not going to go all the way till there. Yeah, then we're going to do GBPJPY. Man, guys, like I actually thoroughly love this pair. We've been calling the sells from up here. You can see my marks from last week there, or was it the week before even? Yeah, so we've been calling the sells since the top here, since the first breaking structure here. Caught all the moves down. We finally hit the first target here. Now remember, because we were thinking of this as like a liquidity pool, right? There's a breaking structure. Yeah, this hasn't broken structure yet. So we kind of we assume, I suppose, that if we fall like we did here, if we fall down, we could target things like this here, and even things like this here. Let me just mark this one off. I mean, there are multiple lines we can fall for, but this is a nice free fall once we come into the side, because like nice strong bullish momentum, very little support. So I'm gonna wait for a break, a retest, and sell again. But this will be my target first. So the reason why I'm shorting GJ the way I am is because this is quite an impulsive pair and it's very fundamentally driven. So this would be your first target, right? That's pretty decent. I mean, we're on a weekly chart. We can go on a daily for you quickly. We target something like that first. Here, once we get here, I'm not going to close off. I will lock off profits, right? And then I'll move my stop to empty. Following that, I'll move this all the way down and chase this area here. Once we come into this area, I'm just going to close off, guys. Like, overall, GBPJPY is still very much bullish. Like, as you can see, we're kind of just in a little bit of a range over there. It should reverse soon, and the longer term ones that I am going to do for, like, I'm going to add in the videos, will actually compensate, so that don't worry too much about losing out on trades. But once you get here, and you can get a confirmation and a retest of this line here, I could break, retest that, and a confirmed retest, move the stop loss all the way down into, like, this area within this vicinity here, yeah? So, that's GBPJPY. Then we're going to do USD. So this one I kind of covered with the students during the week, actually, and I gave them these two scenarios. So from what we can see is we had a false breakout to the downside, right? So my first thinking was, okay, seeing as NAS is dropping, now we all know NAS, S&P 500, US30 move very similarly in a lot of ways, right? False breakout down. I put an internal trend line in here, guys. Like, I've only recently been putting it in. I use it, but I never really showed on my chart, but just to show you guys, like, a little bit more of the source, you know. So the thinking here is, with that bearish close, we could potentially just reject and shoot back up, as you can see here, right? That would look like this. It's a pretty decent setup if it can hold, actually. If this buy can hold, it would be very, very decent setup, something like that, right? Then you have, to just show you guys, like, sometimes I move quite quickly through the orders, like how I would make it look. So maybe just pause and I kind of take note of, okay, there's entry, there's stop loss, there's take profit, you know, like, for those of you who don't know, that's what this is actually used for, yeah? So it gives you an idea of your risk to reward, and you can actually visually see, okay, where's my stop loss, where would I like to enter, where would I like to close off, right? In terms of the sell, which is something I'm more keen on now, because USD could be a beautiful swing trade coming into the festive period, more so than NAS if it actually decides to do its thing now. So I was thinking about this, I might be spitballing here, guys, but this can kind of be seen as a liquidity pool here. You see there's a area of liquidity there being taken out. So there's finally breaking structure on the top, right? Down, back. So we got the breaking structure from the downside, the breaking structure on the top, and now we started melting, right? So that buy is something you need to take into consideration. Then for the sell, right, I didn't take the original leg down. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this move to pan out, right? Why I'm waiting for this is because ideally what I would like to do on the festive is for it to get it. So when you come into like mid December, things start slowing down, man, you know. So you want to kind of either one of two things: make all the money you want now while you still can, or you want to trade during retail traders season. I just like to swing during that time. So if we could get somewhere in this vicinity, I'd like for it to drop and then go. But if that's the case, I'm gonna hold it right through. I will be wary about this area, and I will set up an alert here. If we can catch that move and that alert goes off, I will then move my stop into profits already. That's the only time I'm going to be looking at the chart during the festive, right? What that would look like first, right? So you first want to do the sell. So you want the sell would look like this, right? I'd probably move quite a wide stop because I'm not too sure how far down the thing will pull, right? And then it would look something like that, right? You could even move your stop even tighter, seeing as that's the thingy. Move your stop nice and tight. That would be what the trade would look like, sell side, right? Then in terms of that buy that I was referring to now, I will share it in the longer term setups because that buy will take a very long time. So the main thing here is, and why I'm still bullish, is because we're sitting in this bullish channel. You see guys, like how it broke out, blah blah blah, all that nonsense. We don't care about any of this here. We're staying in this bullish channel, right? As you can see, it's valid right through, right? So as long as we can stay within these two yellow lines, I'm pretty bullish on USD. This, however, this sell isn't worth ignoring, right? So if you do catch that sell, take it. If you hold it, you guys are prepared for it, you take the buy. Yeah. Now I'm just going to briefly have a look at S&P 500. Same scenario like in the week. I had the conversation with my guys. Not all of them enjoy trading this. I have recently started enjoying it. I've always like traded it on and off. Like it wasn't something I took very seriously, to be honest. But as you can see, like we're already on our way to what I was marking off. So S&P on the other hand is already at the bottom of my channel. So I'm actually wanting buys here, right? Because if it violates this channel, it destroys the overall bullish sentiment for me. Yeah. So that's why I have all eyes on S&P right now. I just wanted to give a quick glance at weekly. Yeah, just as I thought. Okay, so as you can see, weekly is trying to come into an area where it can form its bullish divergence with this one over here. So what that means for us is we have these scenarios, right? I mean, either or, guys. I'll just take this one out for the sake of everyone's sanity. So we want to see a break, right, of this line for the sell. We want to see a break of this line, a retest of a break of the trend line, a retest of the support area or the trend line, and then take it. So what's going to happen here is this is what mine would look like, right? My stop will be ultra tight and my take profit is like far down. Now guys, that's like Christmas all day long, man. Like it just depends if that sell does pan out or not. Now I'm not too bearish once we come into here. I'm not actually bullish even. I just want to see what's gonna happen once we come, like basically in the next few days of this week. Yeah. So that would be the buy. Then in terms of the that would mean that would be the sell. In terms of the buy, it would look something like this for me. So my stop loss will be here, right? Just to obviously accommodate for a false breakout. If so, say for example goes up, doesn't really do much, come down, doesn't really do much. So what I'm gonna wait for is a full-on bullish confirmation candle here. Possibly even wait for a second bullish candle to kind of come into above this area, right? Like we kind of want to be secure here. So I mean, risky business this is what you're looking at, right? That's risky business, right? So this one I'll be very cheeky for, because I get the feeling we'll bounce to the side and make like a higher low somewhere here. Higher low somewhere on the side and then shoot up. So this cheeky one might, obviously we're going to adjust it a little bit, we might pull it up, but the stop loss will stay in the same place, right? Then you get the more conservative entry, and those of you who haven't really traded S&P, I definitely recommend trying the conservative one out first, right? Also good risk to reward. You target, this would be your first target, right? And then your second target will be this yellow one up here. This yellow one is just like a line that I put there. This is the actual channel, the big white line, but that would be what you would target. Like I say, guys, these can go either way. I'm not bullish or bearish on S&P 500. I'm not bullish or bearish on US30 just yet. For now, my bias on NAS is bearish, and same for GJ until we can come into like and eat up the liquidity at the bottom. We can come eat up like these little orders here, come down. If we can't pass this area, then I'm bullish on GJ again. But I do foresee something like a take here and then up and then down, or a take here, up again, test that area and then gone. So what that would look like is, if everything confirms, right, excuse the phone, it will come down, come up, touch, shoot. Now this is something I want to cover after this week. So for now I'm giving you guys this one because it's just more likely to kind of pan out in its way. But this here would be a good opportunity to kind of grab everything from very early. So we're just waiting on a break and start. Here we can see it broke. if it breaks downward, retests and confirms, and then can give us a higher low, right? Then we're in the clear. The minute that higher low confirms, we are in, and we are going to fly all the way up till here. That I will cover one, like I said in the longer video. That's a good swing trade to be taking as well. So just keep an eye out, guys. It's going to be a goodie, a fun swing trading period now. You don't have to be drilling in front of charts. You guys have Christmas, you have New Year, you have family time that's coming up. Some of you have leave. There's no need to be drilling on charts all the time. Yeah. Then the last thing I want to cover is the news. So in terms of the UK, we have construction PMIs, we have GDP, we have manufacturing production. Now, this is very important for pound. Those of you who choose to take the GJ trades, please look at those. In terms of the US, so for NAS, S&P, US 30, EIA short-term energy outlook. This, if you're a fundamental trader, is quite key for you there. We have job openings, which I'll be eyeing quite keenly to see what happens with this, right? We have the crude oil inventories. Personally, I don't feel like it affects Nasdaq that much. So I don't really pay attention to it. Then we have initial jobless claims. This is also a biggie, same as job openings, right? And then we have core CPI. This is also a very important one for Friday. So news isn't too bad, nicely spread out. There's not like hectic things happening in between, so we could catch a good couple of scalps here as well. Those of you who are looking for like scalp entries, like the best way to do it is to join our Telegram channel. It is in the link below. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you notice, I've been trying to not keep the videos as long as I used to. Reason for that is that like we just get straight to the point, guys. So without further ado, let's get moving more than average.